Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone above, below, or in between. Welcome to. This is just going to be the holiday fun. Holiday fun. This is just a little map excerpt. I don't know who was looking up what over here. I guess it could be intersection points or whatever. Could be restaurants. I don't know. But anyway, it's St. Patrick's Day, and before I go out and head out, as I was hitting the shower and getting freshened up and ready, I remembered a time where I went to a pub back in the day, the Redlands. Now, I was living in San Bernardino. I was living on 47th Street at the time. This is like 2013, I think. It was New Year's of 2013. And I was living on 42nd Street. Yes, there's plenty of restaurants and bars and whatever have you on 42nd Street. You know, if you live down there right around that time, there's all kinds of stuff for you to check out. Particularly in Highland, San Bernardino, Riverside. You know, there's all kinds of places you go. But that year I decided to go to a bar in Redlands. And that was for New Year's. And this is how complicated things have gotten because of bullshit politics, and I'll explain to you why in just a little bit. So, you're living in San Bernardino, and on the holidays, do you go to your local bar and tavern? No, you go out of town, or out of your nearby town, to a place that you may only go to once or twice a year, you know what I mean? And those are for the big holidays, you know, like Halloween, New Year's, St. Patrick's Day, maybe 4th of July, maybe, but you know, 9 times out of 10 for the 4th of July, you're either going to do local or you're going to go in your backyard and do some barbecuing. And you know, September-ish, you know, you might go out of town, but let's face it, it's September, you might as well stay at home and stay with your hometown turf, right? So anyway, on the major holidays, I've always had to go to a different bar or club out in some other town other than where I live. The reason being is I'm about to tell you, and that's the story that's going down. On New Year's of 2013, I went to a bar in Redlands, and having a good time, just enjoying myself. Watched a couple of guys come in and play some bagpipes, because that would happen to be a pub at that point in time, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty interesting. And there was various other events going on at the time. You know, there was various other bars on the same block, mind you, that I could have gone to. But you know, I just felt like, let's just be a homebody. Let's just mess around a pub, because you know, who knows? I might want to come back here and just hang out here from time to time. Encouraging more people to go there. You know what I mean? You know, or increasing their patronage at least by a factor of one guy. You know, but my entire time there was wasted by another dude who was chatting me up, and I thought he was an okay guy. You know, he's a foreigner or whatever. And come to find out, after I bought somebody else a drink, you know, a chick in the bar, the dude was quickly turned off and didn't want to chat, didn't want to say a bloody thing to me. But the last thing that he asked me was, so how do you intend on getting home? And I was like, well, I'm going to get a cab, you know. Just got through seeing me drink like I don't freaking know, enough to drop a rhino, you know what I'm saying? It's New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's dancing, everybody's exchanging phone numbers, everybody's chatting up and talking about small time stories or whatever. And I always have to do this at a bar away from home because of the very particular instance right here. The dude turned out to be gay, not hanging out in a gay bar. I don't know why the hell that was. No biggie. But he proceeds to go talk to the manager and talk to the staff, and he told them straight up that I intended on drinking and driving that night, which is slander and a bit of a crime on top of that. So I'm very, very thrilled that not only did I have to park my car in a spot that's 2 or 3 blocks away from the bar. This is how strange politics have gotten in California, ladies and gents. So I had to park my car 2 or 3 blocks away, you know, in the movie theater, so that if it were to be the next day, it wouldn't be that big a deal. So I could call a cab. You know what I'm saying? so I wouldn't have to worry about the damn thing getting broken into. But that shit aside, this guy tells everybody that I intend on going drinking and driving. When I intended to buy a cab, and totally, for the last 30, thankfully he didn't ruin my night, so I still had, but 30 minutes before the ball dropped, thankfully I was sloshed already, so I couldn't get new drinks, but everybody just looked at me with this mean, angry face like I done fucked their mother, or some shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, who the hell's this guy? He had to ruin my freaking day, or try to, thankfully that didn't happen, I got sloshed anyway, and of course, I got a cab, and when I got home, I got sloshed some more. And yes, I did get that lady's number, the person that I bought the drink for. I was hoping to take her home that night. That wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? In the cab ride or whatever, because we would have had to buy her a cab to go back home or whatever. Whatever the situation was. I don't know. None of my business. But we had some good times later. But for that night, this one dude who had every option in the world in front of him to have a good time. He had all these other bars to go to. He had all these other places where he could have hooked up with if that was indeed his intention. But no, he just decided to ruin my fucking night. Now, there's nothing wrong with ruining one night. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong in the world with ruining one person's night. One night, that's fine. I can take the hit. My ego is not that big. But when you tell somebody, like the folks at that establishment that, oh, you intend on breaking the law or whatever, and they could be held responsible or whatever, that screws over going back to that place for an entire fucking year. Because later on in that night, I was like, why isn't anybody giving me any drinks? I asked one of the waitresses that, and they were like, well, they think you're gonna go drinking and driving. And I was like, oh, fuck no, I'm buying a cab. See, the cab's right out there. As I was exiting, of course. Could you go over and smooth things over for them? So anyway, this foreigner comes in for one night only. And here's the weird part. I work in Southern California. I work with plenty of people that are gay, and plus I'm also going to school at that same time. I could have had him knee deep into some gay guys, right? Whatever the hell. He could just be swimming in cock. You know what I'm saying? But he had to ruin an entire year of me going back to that one location, which was really pretty nice. It was alright for a pub, guys. I ain't kidding you. But still, I'm like, I could not go back there for an entire year because of that bullshit. And did I get banned? No. I just chose not to. You know what I'm saying? You don't fucking go back to a place like that for a full friggin' year. Thankfully, I live all the way over here and I can go back to my regular hangouts or whatever on 42nd Street. But still, to me it's like, what the fuck? Like on Highland, yes, I got regular hangouts that I go over there. And again, that place is a little bit kooky with their hiring tendencies. And again, with Riverside, we got all kinds of places to go to in Riverside. All kinds of places. Like every 5 seconds. Hell, there's house parties every 9 seconds. You know what I mean? It's a really fun town. But with Redlands, it's a little bit more business oriented. It's a little bit more professional. The folks tend to make a little bit more money, not by much, like maybe $1 or $2 grand here extra a year. You know what I mean? It's not by a very high margin. But what really pissed me off is this one dude really decided to screw up not just my day, but an entire fucking year. And I only go to outside bars, like I said, like 3 or 4 times a year. You know what I mean? I would have stayed. And if scoring was my number one issue or whatever, guess where you go? You go to the freaking Ontario, where they got the airports, you know what I mean? Or you go to a hospital and the local restaurants around there, and you hook up with, either a stewardess or a nurse or whatever. You know what I mean? There's just, whether you're gay or straight, you know what I mean? That they have places for you to pick up people. But this one dude had to go out of his way to fucking try and ruin, like, not just my day. I mean, like, straight up. Like, one day, I don't fucking care. But I mean, if I had lived in Redlands and if I went to that place regularly, how fucked up would that have been? How fucked up would that have been? That'd have been some major fucking bullshit. I would have had to drive all the way to fucking Paris for the same kind of demographic here. All the way from Redlands to Paris. Can you imagine driving all the way to here to here? And don't get me wrong, folks, if you live in Paris, you can easily get a drive here. It's not that big of a drive, it's not that big of a day, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's still bullshit. Still just 100% grade A bullshit. I just don't understand what the fuck is up with people. And to top it off, he was a foreigner, man. He wasn't even hanging out here for permanently. I don't fucking get that. But anyway, folks, that's the complications of politics and how it screws up your freaking holiday and how it could screw up your Saturday night. And thankfully, it's just St. Patty's Day or whatever, so there's parties all over. So enjoy your time off or whatever. But I just had to get this off my chest. I had to freaking set this up because this is the kind of bullshit that I can't fucking stand. I don't mind folks having their own places to be and having their own places to stay, but when they straight up try to take away your fucking places to be, your fucking places to stay, when it's your fucking homeland, I'm sorry, man, I gotta put my foot down and say something about that shit, because that's just some flat out bullshit. Straight up. And as I exited that bar and went into the cab, sure enough, there were cops watching me. Can you believe that shit? I was like, holy fuck nuts. They freaking nodded and smiled. They freaking knew better. But still, it's like, motherfuckers. Like, this guy went... It wasn't enough to ruin my day at that bar. It wasn't enough. Thankfully, New Year's happened and everything was cool. We all had a song and dance. Like I said, I came home with a number. But still. Like, there were cops waiting for me. And they were looking straight at me like this motherfucker took a picture of me. I can't imagine. Anyway, since it's St. Patty's Day, I figured, it'd be a good time to go ahead and give everybody a heads up. Beware of that kind of shit, particularly if you're living in this area, right around this, because you're going to be putting up with shit like that. Southern California, and even now, I'm dealing with motherfuckers that still think, oh, the evil 1% still fucking exists when they chase them out of town. And there are no 1%, and people are lucky if they have a fucking part-time job. But anyway, it's the Fox Gibson. I've been talking too long. Good luck. Peace out. And stay safe. Drive safe. If you've been drinking, get a cab. Don't fuck around with that. Because there are people that really want to screw you over. They want you to go through a bad time. Even when there's no gain for it. Anyway, I gotta go. Gotta get my hair done. Later.